All right. First rule of this channel, we not talk about this channel. Second rule of this channel, this is not legal advice. So this is going to be a video on the Rhamondre Stevenson extension. I was doing some other stuff. This came up. Didn't like how the videos were going. I decided to split it. So if you're just here to listen to Rhamondre, and then I'm going to do a longer video breaking down like all the running backs and why I would be targeting them and not targeting them if you're interested. So anyway, Rhamondre Stevenson, he makes the list. 4 years, $36 million contract. This is what I've been waiting on because this is the Patriots telling me what they think of Rhamondre, and then I get to go see if he's appropriately valued on Fantasy Pros. When it comes to the ECR, he's running back 65. So now he's inappropriately valued because the Patriots told me that he is a high-end running back 2 or a low-end running back 1. So he would be somewhere in the range of this group of guys, if to visualize it, not that this is the ESPN rankings are correct, but to visualize it, he should be somewhere between like 21 and 26 with like Travis Etienne, Derrick Henry, Kamara, Mixon, Rashad White, and James Cook. That's where they're paying him to be. So, you can make up your mind on that one or not, but I would generally think that like he gives me part of what I'm looking for from a running back perspective to win leagues. And then they paid him that money. That's all I generally care about. He becomes running back 6 when it comes to average salary at $9 million a year. I believe I read someplace it's $17 million guaranteed in this contract. So that should also give me an idea of what the Patriots think of him relative to the market, knowing that DeAndre Swift got $8 million this year and Miles Sanders got $6 million last year. So the market, as we go up with all these guys, $7 million going to Aaron Jones for 1-year deal going to the Vikings. This is just a general idea. Like Tony Pollard, average salary 7.2. He's running back 10, getting a better idea of what's going on. I believe I read someplace that Joe Mixon is getting closer to like 9.8, but on this one it says like the average salary for Mixon is running back 7 at 8.5. So just getting an idea of what the Patriots are paying Rhamondre if they were to like let him go free on the market. And then the other thing, to have to go out and replace a running back, and running back is heavily replaceable. So $9 million a year, they do like Rhamondre, and that means that like we probably should be liking Rhamondre too, especially like from a fantasy football perspective. It's all about cost. And right now he's going at 65 overall. Like I really like my chances of not being able to blow up my draft by taking a guy like 65 overall and having him bust relative to getting a high-end running back 2 or low-end running back 1 at the price. Now, I'll get into this a little bit more. The other interesting thing, and I haven't seen incentives for some of the other running backs, but this was brought up specifically for Rhamondre. He gets $600,000 for hitting 1,400 yards, 1,500 yards, and 1,600 yards from scrimmage. Now, why is this important? Because the bar for running back 1 on a year-to-year basis without injuries is usually about 1,500 yards. So, they're paying him high-end running back 2 money with the incentives to hit running back 1 money. So that's where we should be valuing him overall. Now, the other thing I want to talk about here is the Patriots, and I didn't bring it up yet, but they have Alex Van Pelt as their offensive coordinator. That's the guy that they brought in. He's basically going to be running the Cleveland Browns offense from last year. So take that with what you will, because they finished last year as the highest neutral pass rate team in the league. So getting an idea of what they were with Nick Chubb at the beginning of the year, what they were at the end of the year with Joe Flacco, and trying to project that out. The big thing, 2 things that we're looking at when it comes to running backs are going to be red zone opportunities. And I can actually, bring this up so like we agree that what I'm talking about, your red zone stats. So what makes like Raheem Mostert and Christian McCaffrey so interesting is going to be their red zone usage on good offenses. I'm going to break this down a little bit more here in a second, but the main thing is like if Rhamondre is the goal line back and if Rhamondre is the receiving back, he's going to have more value. In the case of Rhamondre, they're paying him $9 million a year. They're paying Antonio Gibson like 3.7. So they value Rhamondre Stevenson 2.4 times more than they value Antonio Gibson. So we can imagine that Rhamondre Stevenson is going to get 2.4 times the usage of Antonio Gibson. That's why this is a big deal to me, because it's saying like I'm going to get somewhere in the line of like a 60-40, 70-30 type of split between these 2 guys going into the next year. And then it just becomes an issue of how much design receiving work Antonio Gibson and how much red zone opportunity Antonio Gibson is going to vulture away from my Rhamondre Stevenson shares. They're not paying Rhamondre Stevenson to be that 20 to 20s type of grinder because they're paying him $9 million a year, right? They're paying Antonio Gibson to be a change of pace back in that 30% type of range. There probably are going to be designed opportunities with Antonio Gibson. I'm a little bit more concerned that they're going to use Antonio Gibson in the return game. And if the return game shifts this year, then he's going to have more value. But at the prices that they're paying him, he is a high-end running back replacement, like a handcuff, a high-end, or I shouldn't say high-end, low-end running back too, from a real-life perspective, because we can actually go and find like where they're paying him. Like there's Antonio Gibson being paid the same amount per year as Samaje Perine. There's Zach Moss. We're trying to guess if Zach Moss is going to be like a fantasy football RB2 or not. So this gives me an idea of what the Patriots think of Rhamondre. And then I just have to be able to go like, well, how much better is the Patriots offense going to be? And this is one of those things at price. Patriots offense last year, they were the third worst, but they went out and they drafted a new quarterback. They signed Jacoby Brissett, who's going to be serviceable at quarterback. I can bring this up so you could look at Jacoby Brissett's face. He doesn't have to be good at football. He can be a game manager, and that's actually better for my Rhamondre Stevenson shares, because that means Rhamondre is going to be a check down monster. And even though I would rather have design passing work is always going to have more ability to produce than rushing work. So again, that's what makes Rhamondre Stevenson so valuable is what he did in 2022, where he did 88 targets for 69 receptions. Now, like, that's not very efficient because he's a check down monster, but he can do that as part of his game. And if he gets that work is worth more than whatever 20 to 20 work he gets, because I'm more concerned if he's going to end up getting the red zone usage, to bring this one up right here, to get the red zone usage that's going to push him up from that high end running back 2 into running back 1 range. And at that point, it just becomes an issue of, can I guess how much better the Patriots are going to be because of Drake May? They brought an offensive tackle. They brought an offensive guard. They brought in two rookie wide receivers. These are all good picks. Can they at least be this year's Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Then I'm getting close to a league winner, because like last year, Rachaad White was able to return on investment, going from an offense that we thought was going to be bad, that was able to break into that not good to okay type of category. Not all the offenses that we project to be good are going to be bad, and not all the offenses that we project to be bad are going to be good. Last year, the Rams were better than expected. So were the Packers and the Texans, and the Chiefs weren't quite as good. Just the same thing as the Bengals. Like, we're guessing, and we're primarily going to be guessing on price when it comes down to this. That's the biggest thing with Rhamondre, and I really like the price relative to what the Patriots just told us with Rhamondre Stevenson. So anyway, I'm going to move on, and I'm going to do a larger video talking about like each and every one of these running backs, and I'll see you guys back here in a second.